My teacher doubted me, but he regretted it years later. I was sitting in the last seat by the window when my teacher decided who I was going to be. Not because I wanted to sit there, not because I liked the view, but because that seat was where students like me ended up. Quiet, distracted, unfinished. The kind teacher stopped expecting much from after the first month. It was 10th grade, Mr. Callahan's economics class. The room smelled like old books and dry erase markers, and the hum of the fluorescent lights felt louder than the students themselves. I remember staring outside while he talked about supply and demand, watching a tree sway in the wind, wondering why it looked freer than I felt. Daniel. I didn't look up at first. I was used to teachers calling my name with disappointment already attached to it. Daniel Harper, he said again, sharper this time. Yes, I finally replied. He held my last test in his hand, tapping it with his finger. Care to explain this? I shrugged. I didn't really get it. The class laughed quietly. Not cruel laughter, worse. The kind that assumes you belong at the bottom. Mr. Callahan sighed and shook his head. You know, Daniel, some people just aren't cut out for this. Not everyone is meant to succeed academically or professionally. The room went quiet. He looked straight at me and said the sentence that would stay with me for years. If you keep this up, you won't be anything. Not won't do anything. Not won't succeed. Won't be anything. I nodded, pretending I didn't care. Pretending it didn't sting. Pretending it wasn't carving itself into my chest. But it was. At home, things weren't much better. My dad worked long shifts at a warehouse, his back permanently bent from lifting boxes. My mom cleaned houses, coming home exhausted with cracked hands and forced smiles. They never told me I was a failure, but they never told me I was special either. We were surviving. That was the goal. College felt like a fantasy people on TV talked about. Money was always tight, arguments were frequent, and dreams were treated like luxuries we couldn't afford. Still, something inside me refused to die. I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I didn't want to be invisible. After high school, I didn't go to college. I took a job at a small electronics store, selling phones and laptops to people who barely looked at me while I spoke. Minimum wage, long hours, zero prestige. But I noticed something.